So we're reacting to this video clip that I saw on TikTok. So let's dive right into it.
Trump broke a ton of promises on his first day in office. There was a lot he said he'd do on day one.
Starting on day one, my first day in office.
A lot of Trump's day one promises were illegal. Many were impossible. Most of them he broke. Let's review. Number one, Trump promised he'd begin lowering prices of groceries and everything else on day one.
Prices will come down and come down dramatically and come down fast.
But after his election, he started backing away from that. Talking to Time magazine about grocery prices, he said, quote, "I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard." And nothing Trump did on his first day could conceivably lower prices.
Hey man, but he's gonna lower prices day one, and then you come to find out, oh well, it's not that simple to lower prices day one. It's surprising, of course not. Like, if you had common sense, we all knew that this was not gonna happen. So hey man, shout out.
Best he could do was a meaningless directive to every department to see if they could come up with ideas to lower prices. Not only that, Trump moved to raise prescription drug prices by rescinding a Biden order to lower them. Promise broken. Number two, Trump said he'd end the war in Ukraine on day one. Another broken promise. Number three, Trump said on day one he'd end Biden's...
To add on to that, not only did he said he was going to end the Ukraine-Russia war day one, and he wasn't able to do that, but also the fact that one of the Trump officials actually said that they're not even close. Like, this might take months to even come close to a resolution and ceasefire deal. So he's not even close, but you know, it sounds good.
Electric
said he'd end the war in Ukraine on day one. Another broken promise. Number three, Trump said on day one he'd end Biden's
insane electric vehicle mandate.
There was no Biden electric vehicle mandate, so he couldn't and didn't end it. Number four, Trump said
he keeps on saying that there's an electrical vehicle mandate. Maybe it's a state by state thing, but I don't know much about that. Maybe someone in the comments does, but I don't know much about that.
To end birthright citizenship on day one.
Birthright. That's a big one.
But regardless of his executive order, the president has no power to do that. Number five.
On day one,
Matter of fact, a U.S. judge has already made it very clear that they are not going to allow him to do that because that's against the U.S. Constitution. Like, ending birthright citizenship is insane. It just is.
Going to stop the transgender lunacy.
Trump did sign an executive order denying the existence of trans and non-binary people. However, no matter what Trump does to demean and endanger trans people, they will exist. He cannot will them away. Number six, Trump said on day one he'd ban trans people from schools and from sports. He does not have the power to do that. Number seven, Trump promised to ban CRT from the military.
He said that he did try to put an order in, so I'll give him that. He put an order. He said that I don't know. Ban him from sports. I don't know. I don't know.
Usually stands for critical race theory, which is a college-level academic concept. It's not part of military training, so Trump could not ban it. The military does do combat readiness training, so it's possible Trump got confused by that CRT.
Critical race theory. Never was a big fan of it personally, but who knows?
Fortunately, he did not ban that either. Number eight, Trump said he'd end America's opioid epidemic.
I will take action on day one to end this horrific plague and save American lives.
We're still waiting. Number nine.
I think what was said about the opioid stuff? I think he's gonna stop immigration. That's how. No critical thinking in the military. Yeah, I mean, of course.
Trump said on day one he'd put a 25% tariff on all goods imported from Mexico and Canada, our two biggest trading partners. It is a good thing he broke that promise.
Now, he did say that when it comes to the tariffs, he said he would do it. I think he either put a memorandum or just said this in one of his speeches that he's going to put tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Hopefully, like, that doesn't happen because that's unhinged, but he did say that he wants to push that through with Canada and Mexico.
Because
So,
U.S.
we'll see with
tariffs
that one.
are paid by Americans, not the other country. So this would have made Americans pay a whole lot more for a
No,
wide
for sure.
range
Prices
of
definitely
goods.
would have went up.
However, he's now threatening to impose them on February 1st. Number 10.
I will send Congress a bill to ban sanctuary cities in the first day that I become president.
Trump did not send Congress any bills.
Yeah, this didn't happen. He hasn't even mentioned anything about sanctuary cities as of yet either. So if he has this big issue with sanctuary cities because he hates brown people that are coming in the country, we'll see. We'll see.
On his first day. Another broken promise. Number 11.
I'm going to terminate these Green New Deal atrocities on day one.
America never adopted the Green New Deal, so Trump couldn't terminate it.
What he did do is remove us from the Paris Climate Accords. I think that's what it's called. And he wants to roll back a lot of environmental policies because he doesn't believe climate change exists. So, whatever.
So that's another broken promise. Number 12.
My first day in office, there will be no more persecutions of Catholics or anybody else.
Another thing Trump couldn't stop because it wasn't actually happening.
Yeah, that was just...
Unless maybe he's talking specifically about Republicans going after the Bidens, which he didn't do anything to stop either. Number 13.
I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation.
Trump has falsely claimed schools are performing sexual reassignment surgery on children.
Yeah, there is no sexual reassignment surgery. Or I'm not gonna say no. It doesn't happen. Like if there's an exceptional case that I don't know about, maybe like a 0.00001%, but this shit doesn't happen. And it shouldn't happen because
They are not.
Yeah,
Trump
unhinged.
can't end a thing that isn't happening in the first place. Number 14. Trump said he'd bring back energy independence on day one. But
Drill,
U.S.
baby,
energy
drill.
production was already at an all-time high under President Biden.
Facts.
Number 15. Trump said he'd cut funding to all schools that have vaccine mandates on day one. It's a good
Yeah.
thing he broke that promise too, since that's likely all public schools, which is why we don't have widespread child
Yeah, I haven't heard him doing anything like this, so we'll keep an eye on this one.
death from measles or polio anymore. Number 16. Trump promised on day one to pardon the violent criminals who brutalized Capitol Police on January 6th. Sadly, that's one promise he kept.
He did keep this
Number
one.
17. Trump promised to bring back his Muslim ban on day one. Fortunately, he has not. Yet. Number 18.
Yeah, he's leaning towards bringing this back. I know there's something I'm gonna have to do research on this for my newest podcast episode that I'm gonna record, but he has done some things in regards to Afghans. I believe he's canceled a lot of Afghan flights coming into the country. A lot of them apparently are our allies, so I'll have to look into that, but we shall see.
Promised to release his full list of potential Supreme Court nominations on day one, but he did not. Promise broken. There are dozens of other things that Trump promised to do on his first day. He accomplished few of them. I'm Alan Piper at apiper13. Follow Courier Newsroom to stay on top of what this administration does and does not do.
All right, shout out Alan Piper, man. Yeah, some of them were lies, some of them were the truth, some of them were 50-50 truth and a lie. Overall, Donald Trump did a lot of unhinged shit to start out, so